Ready. Check Monday, Wednesday, Friday, yeah, you know it's a go. Okay, I see they going off, but we gon' rewrite it though. That's right, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, yeah, you know it's a go. Okay, I see they going off, but we gon' rewrite it though. That's right, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, yeah, you know it's a go. Okay, I see they going off, but we gon' rewrite it though. I said Monday, Wednesday, Friday, yeah, you know it's a go. Okay, I see they going off, but we gon' rewrite it though.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Rewriters Room. We are back. Season 2 is here. It's good to be back with my guys. I missed y'all. I missed podding. My second pod. Yeah, I know I got to stay busy going, but it's good to be back doing this one where we are the men with the pen. We rebook, rewrite, and yeah, we have a lot of fun here. It's the boy Armand, me. What am I now? I have to admit that I kind of relinquished my membership. I was a Braun Strowman stan for a little bit, but I had to relinquish my membership. Very lackluster run with the Universal title. It was good to see him finally get it, but the moment was not worth the aftermath. So I've relinquished my Braun Strowman standum. It's good to see Otis improving his in-ring work. I will say that. So I'm still, part of the Otis hive, even if we lost the briefcase. But that's me, fellas. What's up, man?
What's good, y'all? It's CC, best rapper and producer in the whole wide world. God body because I consume healthy products and do towel curls. Benevolent servant to the earth and philanthropist in every phrase that I say. Been like,
oh my God.
You put anything next to me and dope ass women gonna look at him like, whose man's is this? I may talk a lot, but I only got one thing to say. Love yourself, keep going. You are the world, give all you can, and love. Take care of yourself, your body, your people, and your land. Nigga, check. That's what it is. Go ahead, Chan.
Oh, follow that.
Right.
Follow that. I'm gonna follow that. I had a slightly offensive joke calling this the civil rights era because we have so many black champions.
Oh my God.
No, that's the way to follow it. No, that's the way to follow it right there.
We have Naija.
Yes,
Apollo
sir.
Cruz. We have the Herb Beesnas. We have Bad Bunny. This is what Martin Luther King
Wait. Say his name
of.
again. Say his name again. One more time.
He's Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
Bad Bunny.
For all my listen, I just want to say right now for all my Latinx. I know some people still say Latino Latinx for both Latino and Latinx, however you want to say it. For all y'all motherfuckers right now, I'm so happy for you niggas right now. Y'all got Garza, y'all got Bad Bunny, y'all motherfucking Damian Priest is out here doing what Tess should have did. Oh my God. Oh,
not the Tess slander. Oh
I'm sorry. No. It's not Tess. It's like I wanted to see Tess do that. Okay. And this is what Damian Priest is clearly like. He's at the point now where it's just like he's the show. Like it doesn't matter who he's wrestling. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Bad Bunny has pyro.
And that's bro. It's not just any pyro. It's like this is WrestleMania level pyro on Monday nights. Every week we see this.
Bro,
Sheamus don't have pyro. Like Cesaro don't have pyro.
No, fam. I'm sitting here like, bro. I think I forgot what pay-per-view it was. I'm sitting here talking to my girl. I'm like, yo, Bad Bunny's on wrestling or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, they have some celebrities on and blah blah. Then it comes next week, and I'm like, yo, look, he's on again. Like, I'm like, this is a person on the show that you don't watch. Like, this is
he's
crazy.
Still here.
And then bro, off the top rope, seen the shirt. I was like, oh, I'm copping. Like, getting that shirt immediately. Like, this is it's nuts. This is like, man, they killing it right now.
It's a beautiful, beautiful time to be a wrestling fan. Before we get into anything, we got to shout out Big Dog CC for the new theme song that y'all heard. That joint is a bop. That joint is fire. We might have to put that on streaming for y'all to get us some coins because it is worthy of all of the listens, all of the streams. Don't download it illegally. Download Spotify, download Apple, Tidal, Audio Mac, SoundCloud, Google Play, whatever even if you use Pandora, stream that joint because it is worthy of your time. But we definitely want to welcome y'all back to season 2. We got a very fun season planned for y'all. We got some new segments to introduce. So we're going to jump right into our pre-write. This is where we're going to talk about our current WWE storylines that we really enjoy. And yeah, just, kind of chop it up about the landscape since we've been away for about a month and a half. I know for me personally, Edge coming back and winning the Royal Rumble was very, very cool. I mean, if you look at his story over the last year, he returned at last year's Royal Rumble, lasted till the Final Four, lost, faced Randy Orton at Mania, faced Randy Orton again at Backlash, got injured. So it's just a crazy redemption story for him to come back, enter first in the Royal Rumble. He wasn't supposed to enter first. He was number 2. He was like, nah, I'm coming in first. Randy's starting with me. Put Randy out. Lasted the entire thing. Randy came back, tried to sneak him. He was like, nah, bro, like you're the Viper, but I'm the master manipulator. I'm the radar superstar. My time is now. Word to John Cena. Wins the whole thing. Following that, he goes to Raw, NXT, SmackDown. Like, he's getting hella TV time. He's putting people over. Like, the handshake with Damian Priest was super dope. Him putting over Pete Dunne and Finn Balor was super dope. Him toying around with Roman Reigns. This is what I wanted to see for Roman. Like, the Roman Kevin Owens thing was really, really good. Like, I thought Kevin Owens was the most formidable baby face for him. And we thought Daniel Bryan was like the obvious thing for Roman, but Edge is really like getting under Roman's skin. And you see that. And I really, really love that. Even if I'm a big Roman fan, I want to see I want to see tension. I want to see conflict. And and as we know, he picked Roman to face at Mania. Now things are up in the air because Roman is potentially facing Daniel Bryan at Fastlane. We have to assume Bryan's going to beat Jey Uso in their steel cage match to determine if he's going to face Roman at Fastlane. But it's looking like it's going to be Roman Edge at WrestleMania, which I think will be really good. And previously, before the Miz cashed in his Money in the Bank, I was like, if Miz don't cash in at the Elimination Chamber, he's going to cash in after Edge beats Roman at Mania and is the new world champion. Obviously, we saw Miz cashed in, held the title for 9 days, lost it to Bobby Lashley. Black Excellence is here. But I'm very excited to see this program between Edge and Roman moving forward, because them on the mic against each other has been nothing but heat so far.
Fam, Edge, 2 things about Edge. One, this is just a testament to how much of a wrestling fan I am. The Royal Rumble, the way he won, I was so happy to see the reversal throw into the ropes come back. And I don't know if you noticed it, but they've been using it almost every week since or whatever. And I was like, they used to use that all the time. Like, somebody would go to throw somebody and the other person would reverse it. Like, and that's how he won. Speaking of older things coming back, you said a word that was, I think it was key, that was missing from the WWE, and it was tension. Like, that's like most storylines are being driven by that right now. Like, they're keying in on like actual emotions, and like Edge coming back was, for me, is like one of the big things, because I'm just like, everyone should look at how he's talking to people right now. It feels both like a regular conversation, and then by the time he gets to the end of his like sentences, you're just like, oh, that's what he's here to say or whatever. So like, you have to listen to him every time he talks, versus what we got used to from like 2015 to 2018 was just like, all right, let's see how badly they can read this promo. But like, aside from that, as far as like storylines going on right now, bruh, everything is black and brown. I love it, man. This is beautiful. Hurt Business, Bobby Lashley out here killing it, bruh. Like, this is just, man, it's just. And then also, by the way, I just want to say, I want to hear everything. Put a mic on Kofi and Xavier at all times.
Yes.
At all times.
Yes.
That's all I gotta say.
I think for myself, it's kind of a twofer. First and foremost, kind of like you were saying, CC, I think any segment with Bianca Belair is a segment worth watching. Like, I think she's like, I think we're at a good turning point where you're kind of seeing like where the WWE is going with certain people. Like, we had Drew, we had Roman, but now you're seeing like Bianca come up. And I feel like this is the next generation after kind of like the 4 horsewomen, who be like the next kind of generation of like popular women. And then the second part to that is that like WWE doesn't have to like dedicate 45 minutes of their show to like Sting, Big Show, and Shaq wrestling, because who wants to see that for an hour every week? So you're free to, you can have Cesaro matches, just throw them in there. Let King Corbin wrestle, because I'd rather watch King Corbin. Don't let that nigga
come out in jeans again, please. Don't do that again.
Looking like Sly Stallone.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I think just the way, like, now we're gonna talk about it later. Some of the stuff they're doing on the Raw side with Asuka is shaky, at best. But Bianca is strong. The match with Sasha's gonna be fire, and I just feel like you're just seeing like, it's like, I feel like I get the same thing when I remember I seen like early like John Cena, early Brock Lesnar, where it's like, oh yeah, this is it. Like, this is some special shit we're watching right now. So
real quick, going back to Roman, when he came on SmackDown and then he won, and he kind of said something to the effect of I make WWE, but also like I'm going to make SmackDown, and like, you know, SmackDown is like the brand because I'm here or whatever. And he said that at a time where I felt that Raw was better than SmackDown, or like not as weak or whatever. It's completely flipped. He might have been right.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. SmackDown has been the A show since he came back, and it hasn't been perfect. Like, the show opens with a Roman segment. There's a Roman segment in the middle. It closes with a Roman segment or a Jey Uso match. Like, he's main event Uso, and it was cool at first, but I was like, dog, everybody got to face this man in the main event. I'm tired of the super kicks. He hasn't added anything to his moveset. He's an annoying little sidekick. And like, you know, sometimes when him and Roman beat people down, it's fire. But it's just like, man, like, can Jimmy come back? Can Roman like let him go? And like, can Seth join the family or something? Like, I don't know, man. Like, Jay really was cool. He kind of hit his peak when he was facing Roman for the titles, and now I'm like, I'm tired of Jay. But we're seeing other stars on SmackDown really rise up. Cesaro had a great run. Shinsuke Nakamura was looking real good up until, you know, he didn't get the title match. Bianca Belair, as you said, Reginald, Carmella's dude Reginald is more relevant than Carmella. Like, I don't know if Reginald's gonna wrestle regularly, but I like Reginald.
Vince,
really
let
like
that
Reginald.
white woman go. I'm sorry. That just came out. I'm so sorry.
I don't disagree. Like, I don't disagree. Like, man, but SmackDown has definitely taken the reins as the A show. I've actually been watching NXT a bit more recently. I kind of fell off with it, but I'm back. NXT is on fire. Like,
NXT is fire.
So much good stuff going on right now. You got Finn, Adam Cole, Roddy Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly's little thing they got going. You got the new tag team MSK. You got
Karrion Kross.
Big and Santos Escobar.
Kyle O'Reilly grew that beard and was like, "Yo, I'm not here to play with you niggas no more."
Yeah, it's over.
He got the little twist faux hawk popping too. He think he doing something. He ready. He 06 Young Money. He ready.
Yeah, but it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. We're gonna move into our free write segment. This is where we pick some things going on and kind of just book how we would like to see them going. Now, there's two big superstars who I'm very intrigued in what their plans could potentially be leading into Mania. As we know, it will be another 2-night Mania. They're back in Tampa. They're running back the entire theme they had. The Weekend is still the theme song. But with a 2-night Mania and with these shorter run times for the PPVs we've been seeing, like Royal Rumble was 2 hours and 30 minutes. I don't know the last time we've seen a short Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Like, that was absolutely, it was 5 matches. It was the men's, the women's, Drew versus Goldberg, Roman versus KO, Sasha versus Carmella. That was it. And it was great because, like, everything was good. It came and it went. But, you know, two superstars who I'm very interested in what they're going to be doing, if they do anything at Mania, is Keith Lee and AJ Styles. Keith Lee was supposed to be in the triple threat match for the US title at Elimination Chamber. He was pulled. Some people think it's an injury. So I think it is an injury. I'm not entirely certain, but he was pulled from the match, and John Morrison won the Battle Royal, and he was in it. Keith Lee hasn't been on TV since. So what would you guys book Keith Lee's program to be, you know, considering the fact that it seems like it's going to be Drew, Bobby. We don't know who Riddle might be facing, so like that could be a potential thing. Since Keith Lee was supposed to be in the match and they had that backstage interaction before the US title, but what would you guys book Keith Lee's plans to be for leading up to Mania?
I think Keith Lee at this point in his career, I think if he would have, and like it does seem like, I'm not sure if the injury is kayfabe, but that's the reason they're giving, just like looking over the internet. I think at this point, if he comes back in time, realistically, I would like to see him in, whether it's for the US title, Intercontinental title, whatever the multi-man kind of like 6-person ladder, 6-pack challenge. You know, they always have one of those for one of the mid-card titles. He probably could fit well into that, have a few fire spots where it looks like he's about to win and probably not win. I think if he would have been able to keep his momentum and keep going, he'd been fine. But because it does seem like they are trying to keep the content lower, but the quality higher on the shows, I don't see them trying to like microwave a feud to give him like a one-on-one match with such short time, especially because like he is a type of talent where like you can kind of reheat Keith Lee whenever you kind of need to. Like he just is that kind of, like you see him wrestle one good match, you're like, oh yeah, Keith Lee's back. I forget anything that ever happened before that. So I can see him with a match where it would be like him, Ricochet, Riddle, maybe like one of the Lucha House Party for some spice, like or something like that. And I think he'll be in that match, have a good spot where he like catches Ricochet and like power bombs him or something, and then ultimately someone else gets pinned. I think that's realistically what I see for Keith Lee.
So yeah, and I'm gonna build off of that. Yes, that's how he should return. I think going forward from there, because everybody realizes he's such championship material, not only being the fans, you can tell, like, sometimes management is really bad at hiding who they really fucking like or whatever. Like, they're really bad at hiding or whatever. Like, I was very skeptical because she's a black woman, and I was like, nah, there's no way. But I was like, damn, they really fucking like Bianca. Like, I was like, they really like her. And then like Keith Lee's another one. I think because, and you also said something really good too, is that you can reheat him at any time. Also for that reason, and because you don't really need him in a feud, something I thought about was like, what if you have him as a threat to just all mid-card championships? Like, what if he's just like, you know, I'll come get that US title if I want it or whatever. Like, let's take him off the brands or whatever, and let's just make him just like a threat in general, whatever. Like, he might go back to NXT one day or whatever and just walk by somebody with the North American and be like, word, or whatever. Like, just make him a threat to people in certain ways or whatever. And so that like you just get both the crowd and like all and on TV champions scared of like, okay, maybe Keith Lee is going to take my championship. And then from there, like we'll pick somebody or whatever. Cause honestly, we're at the point now where we're just going to have to let time pick who's his next like feud or wherever he's going to get into next. You can't put him in anything now.
Yeah. No, that was a really great points both of you made. Like, you know, when it was Mania last year and they had to pivot to the PC and there was no Thunderdome, like remember they gave us that Aleister Black Bobby Lashley match that had no heat whatsoever. It was like they kind of wanted to fill the card and put fan favorites there. They don't have to do that this year. They've had a year to build different things. There's a lot of storylines going into this. You know, there's a lot of things that are already established. So they don't need to just makeshift something that would probably be a good match, but not something that we would necessarily be engaged in. So like, I wouldn't hate it if Keith Lee wasn't on the card. I think he should be on the card if things were ideal and he didn't have to be pulled from the chamber. Like, he would absolutely be either in the US title picture as a more prominent figure or even figure into Drew Bobby, which seems like the plan. But yeah, I don't think you need to force anything with Keith Lee either. And I like what you said, Chan, too, like about reheating him. People love him and he's great in ring. So like, you can wait till after Mania. You can have him pull up on Drew or Bobby, whoever wins. Like, all right, it's my time. Like, Drew, like, yeah, you gave me that title match, you beat me, but like, I'm coming to see you again. Or Bobby, me and you had that one match that ended in a DQ or count out, whatever it was. But like, we didn't really get to run it the way we should. So let's run it black on black WWE title. That would be super fire. So yeah.
I'd watch Keith Lee wrestle a wolf. Like, I'll watch Keith Lee wrestle anybody or anything. I don't care.
Well, duh, absolutely.
I feel bad for the wolf.
Help the bear.
Help the bear. I was just about to say that. Another person whose plans are kind of up in the air, very uncertain, AJ Styles. Now, AJ Styles he finds his way into very relevant pictures. Like, you know, he had the Drew match at TLC that Miz came into. He was in the Elimination Chamber. It was him and Drew, the last two in the chamber. And Drew, you know, did that Claymore kick when Styles was in the air? Like,
more Claymore.
Look, man, look. We've said a lot. You got to put respect on Drew's name, but it's beyond respect. Like, crown him king. Like. That, like, there's no more King Corbin. Like, Drew should be King Drew. Like, that's really what it should be. He's not Drew McIntyre anymore. He's King Drew because he has not missed. He absolutely has not missed. But AJ Styles, they put almost next to him. He's been next to him for what, like 6-7 months now. And, you know, almost has helped him out. He's talked. He's came out in his drip. But, like, we haven't really seen the full evolution of almost and kind of what the direction there is. Because when he was first put next to him, everyone was like, oh, they're trying to put him next to a big face, you know, the big heel, rather. They're trying to kind of put him over, get people more invested in Almost. I don't know how invested people are in Almost. So I'm really interested to see what the plan is for AJ Styles. What would you guys do with AJ Styles leading up to Mania?
This is tough because I feel similarly about AJ Styles that I did with like Keith Lee. It's like, here's one out the way. AJ Styles and Almost chemistry, that shit is fire. Like, I'm sorry. These niggas are hilarious to me. They're so fucking funny to me. I don't know why, but it's just like, I think the added level of like knowing some of what things that AJ Styles has said or rumored to have like believed in, and then like comparing him with this tall black dude, and they have like the best chemistry and are really good partners, but that's really good. But taking him into this season, honestly, I think you kind of like take what he's already been talking about and then like up it a little bit. Like, so he's been kind of hinting like, yo, like I'm phenomenal. Not only am I phenomenal, I deserve these championship opportunities and people aren't better than me. And he's beat people. So it's like, okay, I feel like you should, like, at this point, even if they're just one-offs and it doesn't need to go anywhere, like I feel like his character where it is right now, it needs to go to that level where you feed his ego a little bit more. Like, give him those championship matches. Like, let people say, like, you know, like, yeah, no, AJ Styles is one of the number one contenders, and no, he doesn't have to do anything for it or whatever, so that he can go off and like riff on that, because eventually, you know, like with all things, like he and Almost are going to split. So like, let it be more because of AJ than it is Almost, even though it's not like Almost is like an angel or whatever. Like, let it be like a bad break between two bad guys, you know? But like, we need to feed AJ's ego a little bit more, I think, so that it can like create more distance between him and Almost. And I think giving him more championship matches, or at least like getting him close to that level where he's just not wrestling people to wrestle people or whatever, then like will be good, because then he can have more stuff to like talk shit about. That's how I feel. Like, there's not really much you can do, I think.
So I have like 3 levels of this. So regular brain, I think you book a program with him, and I think health permitting, Samoa Joe. I think that'd be a little cute story. You have like Joe say something slick to him during a match, like on commentary, and then Almost gets in Joe's face, and then AJ like stops and like wondering what the fuck is going on. AJ loses the match, and that's kind of starts the beef of like Samoa Joe versus AJ. And Joe's like, I really don't want to have to go back to do this. Like, Samoa's like, I kind of hurt, but like, you keep disrespecting me, da da da. And then eventually, Almost AJ attacks Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe wrestles. That's regular brain. Galaxy brain. You have him face Finn Balor. You say like, I ain't never been to NXT. I ain't never really been NXT champion for real. Like, I'm AJ Styles. That's the only thing I ain't done. Everything I said I did, I do. And you have him face Finn. They had the banger at TLC that we talked about. But then I obviously like with I don't know how they're doing NXT and stuff, so I don't know what would happen with that, like with the timing between the two events.
There's a takeover April 8th, I think. So like, okay. so there shouldn't be any NXT matches on Mania this year.
Right.
It's looking like.
So that's the second level. That's like higher learning, like mind brain shades that you have him like just somehow like, hey, like you owe me this shit, and like I want that title. I'm come down and get it. The like real galaxy brain is Triple H. And that's what I've seen like on like the Instagram Explore page. That's what the rumors are saying, is that like
need it.
And like the only issue I see with that is because he just faced Undertaker, but I still feel like this will be an actual match. And that will like to give him the legend spot twice, like celebrity legend spot twice, is that you haven't faced Triple H. I don't know what that storyline is exactly. But dude, he almost. That's what I would do.
No, wait, dude. So, okay, what I was just saying about his ego needing to be fed more, that works with that Triple H thing, because where we last saw Triple H is he was a person who like he's playing like the good guy version. I like Triple H because he's either bad guy Triple H or good guy Triple H. And, you know, you never really fucking know until the end of the match, because he might do some bad guy shit while he's playing the good guy role. So I was like, what? Yeah. But right now he's like good guy Triple H. He was saying like, I'm like, I gotta put you down like Undertaker, but like more of a respect thing. Like, you know, like we made this pact, me and Sean. So like, you know, like they did that like way back in the day or whatever. And Triple H with NXT and all the stuff that he's been like doing with people or whatever, it's clear like he's just like he's grown into this like, I'm gonna be a fathering, nurturing type role. He's trying to see people win, blah blah blah. Good guy stuff. Whatever,
all the pictures he takes with the NXT people, like some real
all
dad
of that
energy.
shit. It's been like 6, literally since that Undertaker thing, like 6 or however many years ago that was. Like, it's been like damn near a decade of like good guy, nice Triple H, whatever, right? And so what I think is like you have AJ get his head pumped up from like more shit. Maybe give him a title. Maybe give him randomly give him like one of these titles or something. And like the way he wins it, let it be easy. So he can be like, look, I'm so phenomenal. Like I did this easily. Like let him say that or whatever. And then let Triple H like come check him or whatever. And then they can have their back and forth. And they're going to have such good fucking promos because they're each going to be able to pull stuff from real life that they can say in the ring. Like Triple H can be like, or whatever, like, if it wasn't for me, you probably would have been still stuck in Japan. Or like, you know what I mean? Like this shit could go stupid.
Like, you'd be wrestling in an octagon, bro.
Oh my, bro. And then AJ,
ring, bro.
Fam, and then AJ could maybe say something about like he's not that much younger than Triple H, but clearly one of us is still in good shape and can wrestle every time, and other one like tries to bench press a wrestler one time and breaks 2 pecs. You know, like crazy, like they can go stupid with it, and then there's the threat of almost there or whatever, and then you know Triple H has 100 friends, so you know like somebody else can just come back in the middle of the match or whatever to like, you know, neutralize that. There's ways you can go with that, man. Like I like that. That's a really good idea.
Yeah, I love that because, you know, I think when we look at Keith Lee and AJ Styles, Keith Lee not being on the Mania card, it will be disappointing, but it's like, it's okay. He can get next year. AJ Styles, since he came to the WWE, has been a big figure. He's been at every Mania. He's lost 2 of the, he's been in like 5 Manias. He's only lost twice. He lost to Shane and, he lost to Undertaker and he lost to Chris Jericho. But otherwise, like he successfully defeated Shinsuke. He beat Randy Orton. He beat Shane McMahon, and well, I guess he's constantly in the title picture, or he's in like a feud that you care about. So him not being on the Mania card would be really, really weird. The only other idea I would have is him being in the multi-man match for the U.S. title with Riddle. I don't really love it. Like I think that multi-man match would be cool for like Ricochet, like you said, Mustafa Ali.
Right. Yeah.
Damian Priest will be cool in that, even though it's probably gonna be Priest and Bunny versus Miz and Morrison. But like that match for the US title should be a lot of the mid-card guys that we care about, but aren't in like a significant feud or like a top card type position. So it would be really weird for AJ Styles not to be on this card. So I'm interested to see what they end up doing with him because he's been booked super strong. Like he squashed Ricochet in like 5 minutes. He beat Jeff Hardy last week. He's been cooking in the ring, so they're building him up to something. It's just what, and if it were Triple H, like there's 6 weeks till Mania now, so like that's enough time to kind of heat them up and have them promo. But Triple H's programs usually start a lot sooner than that, so it's like would they? But then again, like you know, with it being another pandemic Mania, even though they're gonna have people there, you want to have you want to have that big box office appeal in a Triple H AJ Styles match. Like even if it may not be the greatest match, that's still something people are going to care about and watch. So yeah, it'll be really, really weird if AJ doesn't make it on the card. Like I think he's going to be there in some way. It's just, what are they going to do?
Real quick, because Ricochet got mentioned, he's on the Cedric path. He's on the Cedric path, like where it's just like, man, when the fuck are they gonna do something with Cedric? Like, if you look at Ricochet for the past month, like they've been putting him in that bullshit retribution shit for a little bit or whatever. But if you look at the last like few times, look at how he's wrestling, how he's come out. Look at that nigga face. Like you could tell he's backstage saying like, yo, like make something happen. Come on, like come on.
Yeah, no, he's ready. But it's definitely special for us to bring the show back during March, Women's History Month. And with that, our rewrite segment is dedicated to who I think is one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time, the lovely Asuka. And we're going to let Chan lead us into this segment. What you got for us, brother?
So, Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka. Sneakily one of the, maybe not sneakily, like one of the most highly decorated women in like WWE history. Like she's basically, even at this point in her like 5-year run, has done everything. Money in the Bank winner, Royal Rumble winner, run both brands titles, run the tag titles, has won like Performer of the Year, all that stuff. She's done so much star career. She's one of my favorites. Love her entrance, even like Miss, No Miss. Loved her tagging with Kairi Sane, everything like that. So I'm sure most of you know Asuka, but just quick rundown. She debuted 2015. In NXT. She's actually the first Japanese wrestler WWE has signed since 1994. So that was kind of like a big deal within itself. Soon thereafter, in April, she wins the NXT Women's Championship over Bayley. There was stuff that came out, like, as most people know, during that super long run. where she was her undefeated streak lasted for 510 days. That was her longest reign for like any women's championship run, period. And then at that point, had like past Goldberg with like one of the longer reigns in WWE history. During that reign, like it's like a lot of people have wrote about it, but like we read some articles. Like Vince said he's thinking about bringing her up because she was so hot and like the women's maybe need some juice. But Triple H said like no, she's like the anchor of NXT. Like we have to keep her down here. Like she like can't lose. And during that time, she had lost. I believe it was like she had lost a tag match, but like the other person had been pinned, and then she'd lost, I think by disqualification or something, where she hadn't been pinned, hadn't been submitted in any matches even throughout that whole reign. So eventually, in August of 2017, she has to relinquish her championship. She had defeated Ember Moon in a match the night before, but she broke her collarbone during said match, and so she relinquishes her title. At that point, which people also know, that's when it's like highly rumored she's going to go up to the main roster. Like that's kind of a, obviously it's sad she got hurt, but it was kind of a smooth transition of like this person kind of stays strong. It's outside their control. Her first match on the main roster was October 2017 at TLC. Then in November of 2017, she is the sole survivor for Team Raw, eliminating both Natalya and Tamina. So you see like she's having strong matches. Like she's still being booked as very strong. One thing I will say from that time, and a lot of people comment on it, she wasn't squashing people the way she was in NXT. Like her matches would take a little bit of time, but she would always win. So that was something to keep in mind. That she was always kind of looking strong. In 2018, January 2018, that's the first Women's Royal Rumble. Asuka is the winner of said Royal Rumble. She eliminated Nikki Bella. So still super hot. A lot of people thought Nikki Bella was going to win. Like if you look at the odds of the time she was favored to win, it was the first Women's Royal Rumble. They wanted to bring back a lot of people. This is also around the time they were doing Evolution, the all-women's pay-per-view. So like it was kind of a big time for women's wrestling. Nikki Bella is kind of this stalwart, like kind of the divas and women's revolution. Besides, the Four Horsemen, she's kind of one of those other faces up there with like Paige and stuff. And so it was kind of a nice contrast of like this woman who's done this other decorated stuff in other parts of the country, and then Nikki Bella, she wins. Side note, during this match, like the run-up between Royal Rumble and Mania, she wins the mixed match challenge with Miz. So even like off TV on the internet, Facebook, she's still getting wins. People are still liking her. That was on like Facebook Watch. It's like she's still getting heat from that too. So Asuka's really getting built up as like this kind of superstar, even though she doesn't really speak very good English at the time. Like she still like has a lot of personality when she wrestles. People love the entrance, the dance, the robes, everything. Super hot. Kind of where we hit a snag in this beautiful journey is WrestleMania 34. So Charlotte Flair at Elimination Chamber defeats Ruby Riott, as what you expect. Asuka comes out and challenges her at WrestleMania. Now, this is obviously everyone knows it's going to be a great match. Two great workers, two of the stalwarts of women's wrestling. Can't wait. But again, as I've said at this point, Asuka's still not lost a match. Up until WrestleMania, her streak was 914 days without being pinned or submitted. So that's like the longest streak ever. So we get to WrestleMania 34. And this is where we hit the first snag in our story. Side note, and I know this is like, I love a sidebar, but like this card, while not as crazy as Elimination Chamber, it is very up and down. Like WrestleMania 34 is, mind you, 5 hours long, 5 hours and 14 minutes long. And this is when it was still one night. So this is from 7 to midnight, all wrestling matches. This is a lot should happen. So Matt Hardy wins the Battle Royale. That's when Baron Corbin returns. That was, whatever what it was. Cedric Alexander defeated Mustafa Ali. Cruiserweight tournament, great match. Naomi versus Bayley in a 21 Royal Rumble, whatever. Seth Rollins defeated The Miz and Finn Balor, fine. And then we get to Charlotte and Asuka. So Charlotte is champion. 13-minute match, great match, some great spots. But in a surprise to myself, I would say, and I think a lot of people, Charlotte ends up submitting Asuka clean. Like no chicanery, no Ric Flair running, nothing. Asuka clean. After that match, one of my personal favorite match, Jinder Mahal defeats Randy Orton by Rusev for the U.S. title, the modern day Maharaja.
The modern day.
Gets his WrestleMania win.
Oh my God.
One of my favorite. But this is also the card that has like Brock Lesnar defeating Roman Reigns and like what was one of the strangest matches I've ever seen. Had the Braun Strowman and Nicholas match. It was just a lot going on that day.
Fucking God.
Ronda Rousey's debut was that day. Bludgeon Brothers won that day. It was just a lot happening that day.
Real quick, I just want to say little tidbit. I almost hated us all for having to do the Asuka bit, and it's particularly this time just because I had to see the Nicholas thing again. I was just
awful. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I got back from Spain that day. I was like, oh, Mania's today. I'm hype. I'm going home. I'm gonna watch it. I was on my couch like they open with the Seth Finn Miz match. I'm like, yo, is this fire? And then it just goes downhill. It goes up a little bit. Then it goes downhill. It goes like, yo, what is this Mania? Like, what is going on here?
Damn, there were 14 matches. 14 matches. 14 matches.
The
14
AJ Styles match was 20 minutes long and ended in a low blow. I think that's really a good summation of the card. Match was 20 minutes long and ended in a low blow. This is the Royal Rumble winner. Ended in a low blow match. But anyway, my question was to you, kind of the group, was how would you kind of rewrite that kind of run up? Who would you ever face? Also keep in mind, for context, that next WrestleMania is WrestleMania 35, where she also gets screwed over right before WrestleMania and loses to Charlotte, so Charlotte can face Ronda. And then paralleling to now, where I feel like that's going to happen again, where if what I was reading on like some of the like dirt sheets and stuff is that if Lacey Evans didn't get pregnant, they would have got Asuka right up out of here.
Yeah,
they would have got her right up out of here for Charlotte.
She was going to lose the title at Elimination Chamber. She 100% was.
And so
absolutely insane. Like, and just to get into my general feelings on Asuka before we get into the rewrite, like, bro, timing has never been on her side. Like, she's such an incredible performer. Everyone loves her, but it's like Charlotte was like the woman at that time. So it like they went with Charlotte, which I was so disappointed by. And then if you look at, more recently, well, like you said, WrestleMania 35, when she won the SmackDown Women's title due to Ronda interference at TLC, she holds it only to lose it to Charlotte, and then they do the whole Becky thing, and it was Becky's time. I understand that, but it's like, and then if you look even like this past summer, she wins Money in the Bank, she gets a title for Becky had to leave. She only got the title because Becky had to leave. Like I don't think Asuka was gonna beat Becky in a match for that title. Like Becky was probably gonna hold it till SummerSlam and face Shayna Baszler, but then right when Asuka gets a title, it's Sasha Banks and Bayley's time, and they're doing the whole 2-woman power trip. So they end up getting it off Asuka in a crappy way. It's timing has never been on her side, and it's so awful. So to get into our rewrite here, like I'm okay with her facing Charlotte. Like it would have been great to see Alexa Bliss get squashed at Mania by Asuka, but you remember Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss had their story, which was actually a good story. I know how people feel about Nia, but like the Alexa Bliss Nia thing was pretty good, and it was nice to see Nia have that WrestleMania moment where she beat Bliss for the title. She didn't hold it very long. Bliss ended up winning it back from her, cashing in during her match with Ronda, but like that was a cool story. So I'm happy with them going the Asuka Charlotte route. Having Asuka win would have been cool, but then you also have to remember Carmella was holding the Money in the Bank briefcase for almost a year at that point. Carmella needed to cash that in, and management was big on Carmella at that time. I don't know why. Like it was her and James Ellsworth running around doing nonsense, but it was like Carmella had to cash that in, and the briefcase that was when Raw and SmackDown were still pretty split. So Carmella would have had to cash in on whoever the SmackDown Women's Champion was. And so if Asuka would have won at Mania only to be cashed in on by Carmella, like imagine Asuka pulls up on SmackDown, she gets beat up by the Iconics rather than Charlotte, and then Carmella cashes in. They've been like, yo, why'd you even have her win at Mania if you were going to do this and put Carmella over? Like, what? So yeah, I'm happy with them going Asuka, Charlotte, Flair. I would have liked to see Asuka win, but there's the whole Carmella aspect of it that would have been like, are they going to have Carmella having Carmella cash in and lose would have been fire. Just like what they did to Corbin when Corbin tried to cash in on Jinder. Like that would have been great, but that didn't look like what the program was. Like they really loved Carmella at the time. So this is one of the toughest rewrites we probably ever had to do.
So I'll go first because my rewrite is boring. I obviously Asuka is great. I just want to say a few things. I feel like Vince, in a way, kind of punishes New Japan wrestlers particularly, and wrestlers that come from Japan. Like if you're Japanese or you come from New Japan, he's gonna find a way to punish you or whatever. And I feel like Asuka's spot is like that of AJ's without any of the prestige. It's like she's there to always make matches great and like she can carry stuff or whatever, but you never give her shit. So it's like, and it's not that she needs championships or whatever. It's just that she needs to be seriously seen. There are times where I'm seeing Asuka on TV. As soon as she comes out with entrance music, I'm just like, fuck, okay, what do they got you doing this time, man? Come on. Like, oh my gosh. Cause it's just like, she's not blonde and white. So it's not going to go great for her. So, but yeah, another thing you said, like at that time, what makes it difficult to rewrite this is guys, anybody listening, when I say guys, I mean girls, guys, and MBs too. If you're listening right now, just Google WWE roster
Oh my God.
2018, my nigga.
Listen, look, I actually meant to say that SmackDown Women's roster was terrible. Like if it was,
oh my God,
if it was Asuka Bliss, who was Charlotte gonna face? She just beat Ruby Riott at Fastlane. Liv Morgan wasn't ready at that time. You're not gonna have Sarah Logan.
We're looking at Italian Dana Brooke.
Oh my God.
So
they were starving.
So that's my like that, and my love for Asuka is the reason for my rewrite or whatever. I can't like when like sometimes you see somebody in a certain light, there's certain things you can't imagine or whatever. Like it just blocks your creativity about what you can think about them. This is for me with Asuka, whatever. I was like, you know what? All right, this is the way I want to go about it. All right. So she wins the Royal Rumble or whatever, right? Then Nia Jax attacks her or whatever because she wants, Asuka's WrestleMania spot or whatever. I thought about that and I was like, yo, free, keep going. Like, we need that. Like, and I thought about it. I was like, what would have been great, especially for Asuka, who can't speak that well. It would have made it more amazing because I feel like her personality would have shown more. Like she knows that she can't speak English that well, and she uses her personality to get over it. So like, it would have been great for her to come out every week. Or like at least at the outset and been like listen, Nia wanted to challenge me for my spot or whatever. I beat her ass twice or whatever, right? Or whatever. So now that I'm thinking about it, if any of you niggas out there want my spot or whatever, come and face me for it. And what she does is every week she has somebody come out and challenges her for her WrestleMania spot. Because then at that point, what we could do is like get her to still face Charlotte or whatever. But maybe we like give her a little bit of heel edge by like showing how her ego is a little bit bumped up, so we don't feel as bad when she loses clean at WrestleMania. Because like some people are like, well, you weren't humble. Like, how like certain people get about not being humble. I'm sorry. But yeah, like maybe you can do that or whatever, and that way you take an uninteresting roster, and then you have an interesting thing happen with this interesting person leading all the way up to WrestleMania. So like, even though we didn't get what we went out of WrestleMania, at least everything leading up to it was good. that's what I was thinking.
The Asuka Open Challenge is fire. That's fire.
Yeah, because that would have given, like there are certain WrestleMania storylines where the journey is better than the moment.
Exactly.
Or the journey and the moment are cool. Like Kofi's journey and his moment, fire.
Facts. Yep.
Daniel Bryan's journey and moment, fire. Becky Lynch's journey and moment, even if there were some snags along the way, fire. Seth's journey and moment, fire. So with Asuka, it's like, even if she didn't get the moment, the journey with that open challenge idea is incredible. Like that would have been really cool. And you could have brought up some NXT people. You could have brought somebody from SmackDown to pull up. Like you could have really seen and given light to other superstars to then build up these divisions. So whether she wins or loses, she might end up in a feud with Ember Moon, who came up
right
after WrestleMania.
That is the exact way I was gonna go with it. I'm like, basically, like, because of her open challenge, everybody else gets to have a more interesting thing going in WWE. And it's not just for that week. You can have people who had maybe little problems with each other that we didn't give a fuck about come up and mess up their match with Asuka, and now that feud has some fuel. Like, you know what I mean? Like this, she would have been the engine to driving so many other things or whatever, that even if she did lose at WrestleMania, by the time we come out of WrestleMania, those weeks after or whatever, both shows, we still got some good stories. So that's how I was thinking. And honestly, you can do that shit right now. Like you can still do that shit, because like there are some people, like Natalia doesn't really have anything to do. Like Tamina don't really have anything to do. The Riot Squad don't really have anything to do, even though I saw that they went back and upped their game and like they out here wrestling now. I see that shit. Like there's certain people who don't really have anything to do. So like after Asuka come back with the tooth, like the chip tooth or whatever, put a chip on her shoulder. Oh, that would be fire right there. Oh.
You
come on,
really a rapper.
All right.
You really a rapper.
But yeah, that's it right there.
I'm just really impressed, I'm going to be impressed 2 years from now when they use this storyline when Walter wins the Royal Rumble, and it's Walter like, I'm not gonna like just win the title. I'm gonna bring back like distinguishedness to wrestling, and like you guys can come at me if you want. And watching Walter just chop through half the roster, I think
I
fire.
cannot fucking wait. That nigga chops. Like when that nigga chops, I go, oh, I'm never trying wrestling. Like every other time, I'm like, nah, I want to try this shit. Then I see him chop somebody, and I'm like,
I'm good.
Yeah, but in terms of Mairi Wright, I thought the same thing you two thought. Like the first thing you notice is when you look at the roster, super thin. Like
Starving.
I don't know who she was gonna wrestle. And so I go back and I think, and also another thing that I like had forgotten about was like this is also a time of like single branded pay-per-views. So before Mania, they have Elimination Chamber, which is all Raw, and then Fastlane, which is all SmackDown. Yes. And so that also kind of hurt you too, because you don't have like two pay-per-views to build up a feud. And so my thought process was basically like, one of these women's matches is going to have to be a celebrity match. And so in my mind, what they do is you take Nikki Bella, who is second in the Royal Rumble. You have on the Raw side, Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss break up earlier. You have, instead of Mickie James in Elimination Chamber, you have Nia Jax taking her spot. You have Nia Jax win the first women's Elimination Chamber. I think what you do in that point is that you keep her from staying in that, like, where she's getting now almost like Braun Strowman-ish territory, where it's like, she's big and she wins until it's time to win, and then she always loses. I think by Elimination Chamber, you build her up and have her like low-key like they did on the Braun side where Braun eliminated everyone, have her really like run through the Elimination Chamber, like just win very cleanly. And then you have Asuka challenge Nia Jax, who's thus been built up in the Elimination Chamber. And I think what you also do before that is that you make them both look strong, is because now Nia Jax has been built up as this monster, unstoppable heel. Asuka being able to come in and then stop her makes Asuka look even bigger, because Asuka still has not lost, but now she's taking on this big, like, kind of what world beater, like, one of a woman. Then on the SmackDown side at Fastlane, you keep the Ruby Riott thing. That was cute, whatever. Give Ruby the shine. I like her finisher. That Riott kick's kind of hard. You have her face Nikki Bella. And you can have Nikki Bella, like, lose when I really don't care, because, like I said, Carmella has the briefcase she's going to cash in regardless. But I think you have Nikki Bella face Charlotte, and I think you just kind of have the whole mainstream thing of, like, you have this old family of wrestling, the Flairs, versus basically this new family with, like, her, and I don't even remember if she's the one with John Cena or Daniel Bryan, but whatever she's with at the time, they would do that too. And so I think that's kind of what you have to do. Is I think you keep Charlotte and Asuka separate. That's the only way. Like, the only way Asuka is done right is when she's just far away from, like, someone that Vince likes. Like, that's the only way to keep her safe. Right. It's just to keep her away from, like, one of the four horsewomen. That's the only way. And so you basically just keep them separate, and then kind of just plotting it out. You can have, like, Alexa Bliss have her rematch. You still get, like, you can have Asuka versus, like, Mickie James or some shit to keep it cute. And then eventually at that SummerSlam this year, instead of Alexa Bliss versus Ronda Rousey, you have Asuka versus Ronda Rousey. And then you've just built Ronda Rousey even stronger, because now Ronda Rousey, like, Alexa Bliss, you knew she wasn't giving Ronda no problems for real. Like, no one was, like, worried about Ronda losing that match. But if you have her lose to Asuka and have Asuka's first loss be to a legitimate badass like Ronda Rousey, I think you keep them both relatively strong going into your Becky Lynch program, which would be that next Mania.
That's perfect. I like that.
Because Ronda and Asuka never had a match during Ronda's time, right?
Nope.
That would be fire.
Because they thought
very fire.
As soon as you said it, I needed it.
Her in 34, but, like, this was like kayfabe, but Charlotte was like, oh, she has to pay her dues. That's why she got the Kurt Angle match. Because they're like, people didn't think she could wrestle for real. And so by the time she was hot, they, like I said, Ronda was too close to Charlotte and Becky, and Asuka was not getting nowhere near that. So no, they never got to it. So I think having two real, like, fighters like that, I think that's a dope SummerSlam.
I love that.
That's your match. That's how you do it. And I think what the bigger thing we saw is that, like, part of, like, it's crazy that Asuka got fucked over so hard, given the fact of how weak the roster was. Like, this is also when the reason that Charlotte lost the title is because the Iconics debuted. Yeah, like, that was what happened. They jumped her. Billy Kay and Peyton Royce jumped Charlotte Flair. Like, that's how thin. Not even Tamina. Not even, like, Shayna. We're getting jumped by the Iconics now.
Yeah, and then, like,
and beat down to the point where I can't defend my title.
And then from there, you see Carmella defeated Asuka twice, and she beat Charlotte Flair twice. Like, what world were we living in 2018 where this was happening? It was absolutely insane. Like, they were really invested in that Carmella push.
You gotta remember that a lot of the people who are writing, they make a good enough money, so they live in the suburbs, and there was an opioid crisis around this time. So it might have been the drugs. It might, listen, whenever you see some shit go so crazy that you can't explain it, it's like you either thinking that person mentally like everything's not really working right, or it's drugs. Like I don't know, man. It might have been the drugs. You never know. Seem like them niggas clean now. I don't know what's going on.
They was in that writer's room off that za. They was off the Zaza.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. COVID cut them off from they plug. Then these niggas been cooking ever since. Like I don't know what they.
Third eyes open.
There's just like you look at the rosters and stuff. You just like it's so funny how like the roster can ebb and flow. Like when we're doing these rewrites, that's like one of the things that's so interesting. Is like there's really some peaks and valleys, and like part of the whole like distinction of like eras is like when those valleys become peaks. Is that like, oh, this is the new era because we actually have enough people to have an era. Like there wasn't an era because there wasn't enough good people. Like Sheamus is not part of an era because if Sheamus has to be champion, you're not in an era. You're just like
shit. It's nasty. It's nasty. It's so nasty. Like 2015, Sheamus only got the title because Seth was hurt and they had to give Roman some something to overcome. So Sheamus joins Triple H and then makes the League of Nations. But otherwise, Sheamus wasn't about to get that title. Get out of here. Money in the Bank winner. Like, cool, sure, you got the Money in the Bank briefcase. And at the time, there's only one world title because they combined the WWE and World Heavyweight title. Right. But if Seth was there, like, I mean, maybe Sheamus would have cashed in on Seth, which would have actually been cool. And like that could have, jump started the whole Seth Triple H thing. But it was rumored, it was supposed to be Roman beating Seth for the title. So like Sheamus wasn't going to get that. Like absolutely not. But your point about the peaks and valleys is very valid because as we said, WrestleMania 35, and it was Becky, Ronda, and Charlotte, like it was supposed to be Asuka versus Fire and Desire, and the SmackDown roster was strong at that time. Like Fire and Desire was really heating up at that time. People were invested in Mandy, invested in Sonya, like them versus Asuka, whether it was a triple threat or a handicap match for the title, like that would have been really cool. But they had to make that Becky match, as big as it was, and Asuka just kind of fell by the wayside. But yeah, man, like timing has just never been on her side. It's really the craziest thing. Like it's crazy how her and Shinsuke's careers in WWE really parallel. Like they both came in, they both got the NXT titles, they both went to the main roster, won the Royal Rumble, lost at the Mania, lost at the same Manias. Like Asuka's gotten her world titles since then. Shinsuke hasn't been within, like he lost to AJ like 3 times.
Didn't they both they both got put in tag teams out? At first he was just like, sure, they're in a tag team now.
Cesaro. Sure.
Yeah, like well, if you remember Shinsuke's first tag team,
was that Sami Zayn and Rusev or something?
No, it was Shinsuke and Rusev.
That's
Shinsuke and Rusev were a tag team for a period of time.
Because niggas thought they was going to do the what's the name again, but like with a few different people.
League of Nations with different people. Yeah.
It's nasty. I'm glad Asuka's had the run with the Raw title that she's had, even though she really hasn't had any good opponents. Like look at who she's faced. This is Zelina Vega. She hasn't really defended that title much either. But there's no challengers on Raw. Like yes, Naomi's there. Rhea Ripley's supposed to come up, but they're not putting them in those positions. Like,
and what's fucked up, bro? What's fucked up is if Asuka still got that championship with Rhea Ripley coming, it's coming.
Oh,
you already know it's coming, my nigga. Yeah. Like if for some reason Charlotte don't get it and she get another feud or whatever, and there's nobody there, and Rhea Ripley comes, you already know what's happening.
Punk Charlotte is taking that. Punk Charlotte taking that, bro.
Yeah, Rhea's gonna have that title by SummerSlam 2021. She's absolutely gonna have it. She's probably gonna get the Ronda push. Like I think she's gonna end up in a Mania match. I don't know who she's gonna face, but she's probably gonna cook them, and then they're gonna push her towards the Raw Women's title if Asuka's still holding it, unless Charlotte beats her again. I think Asuka deserves to get her win back from Charlotte, at Mania, but man, you never know. Like Charlotte is the women's division's darling. Like she gets what she wants. She's never too far from that title. They're trying to get her to 16. So even if Charlotte has a short reign with it and Rhea beats Charlotte, which would be cool because Rhea and Charlotte ran it last year. So like it would be cool for Rhea to get her win back and win the title from her. But it's not looking good for Asuka, and it's never really looked good for her. And like she was holding it down during the pandemic. Like Bayley and Sasha were holding it down for that division. But even still, it hasn't been a great reign for Asuka. Bayley
has come in and real aside, Bayley has come in and it's like this is an example of like what Asuka has done too. Is like taking shit and turning it to gold or whatever. There's like, look, Bayley, you're gonna be a heel now, and we want you to be kind of like, yeah, whatever. So like they had the whole thing with like Sasha, and that was cool, whatever. Afterward, you was really like, well, the way this ended, you don't, where the fuck is the future? And then here she comes with her, like, she's basically just being like Ellen, but all the rumors about Ellen on TV. Like, it's beautiful.
Bro,
Like,
I'm like looking at it. She's only defending the title against Selena in one, and then Lana, but that match was stopped because Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler interfered. I think that's her only 2 title defenses.
And
if you
she's had it since SummerSlam, right?
this is
Yeah.
so fucking
Since
disrespectful.
SummerSlam, yeah, since SummerSlam.
I am going to write a letter.
That's the only 2 times I can find her. 1.5 times, and then she's competed for like the tag titles twice. That she's been always in doing that. That's
and
why
no offense, them tag title matches was way. I don't remember either of those 2 matches.
Because Lana was in.
I do remember the tag matches though, but like,
yeah, they had some good matches against Shayna and Nia. Like the one where they won it at TLC was a pretty good match, and then when they lost it in the kickoff or Rumble, like they were good matches. It's just like she's the Raw Women's Champion. She should be defending this, but who is she going to defend it against? Why? There's talents here that can be used. Naomi, as we've said so many times, and you know, I have a personal affinity for Naomi, so I would love to see her in that picture. And like, I don't want to see her next to Lana in a tag team. No one wants to see that. No one wants to see that.
When she did her entrance this past week or whatever, and she came out, I was like, wow, she's like with the jacket and everything. I'm like, oh, she really saucy. And then I look and I'm like, why the fuck is Lana right there? Like, I know she's supporting her, but I'm like, can we let Naomi have a moment just fucking once? That's not, oh, look at the cool, I'm like, oh, look at the little pickaninny, like not fall out onto the fucking floor in the Royal Rumble or whatever, and then your 5 seconds of fame, and then it's like, go back. Like, no, we're not doing, like, bruh, she comes in, every time she comes back, she has a new set of moves. Every fucking time.
She
came back this time, super new set of moves. When she was up against Nia Jax in that last match or whatever, I thought she was gonna win that shit. The way I was like, yeah, because you're attacking the big person in a smart way, like the little psychological things about how you should wrestle and stuff like that. She ups those every time, and then I'm just like, she sells well. I'm like, I'm sorry, what do you want? Like, she can talk. What do you want her to do that she's not doing, that you keep giving people like Lana and Carmella these opportunities to do? Like, I'm so confused. What is it, bro? Like, I know what it is, but what is it?
Don't make no sense. But damn, we might have to do a Naomi episode with Women's History Month in mind, for real, because that 2017, you know, where she won it, then she got hurt, and then she won it back at Mania, and then she ended up losing to Natalya at SummerSlam. Like, look, what? Just disgusting. But to wrap up, Asuka is one of the GOATs, one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time. You know, there's the 4 horsewomen, but you got to include Asuka in that conversation. Hopefully timing is on her side moving forward. It's not looking great, but we are going to be optimistic in the Empress of Tomorrow. You know, the tag title reigns have been cool, but she don't need that no more. Like, she's a women's Grand Slam champion. She's a women's Triple Crown champion. We don't need that no more, unless it's storyline based, unless it's building towards something bigger where she can actually prevail for once. And it be a clean prevail, not just her getting it because Becky had to leave, or her getting it because of a Ronda interference, or her getting it to build toward a Bayley Sasha breakup. Like, how about Asuka just look strong and win it clean? Like, that would be really cool to me.
Wait, I got one. Becky, you just said, I just thought about it. So like, Becky would be like let's have Becky and Seth do a little of what what's her name and Johnny do in NXT. Where it's just like husband and wife, and they both
Candace.
Yeah, when they both being like heels, yeah, and shit like that. Like, and he has the vision or whatever, and like Becky can, like, you know, she doesn't need to be a part of the same thing, but like, let's just have them both be assholes or whatever and come back. So that way you can have Becky lose clean, but you know, her losing clean looks fine because she's a heel, so it's fine. And then Asuka beating her is like legitimate because like Becky, when she went out, she was the fucking man or whatever. So, you know, have her be, you know, they can both come out looking okay in that situation, and it would look great for Asuka, and it'd just be good for her. That would be a good feud too. I think it was just because she was about to, man, they were really about to have her lose that fucking championship to
Lacey Evans,
to a fucking person whose goddamn finishing move is the same thing as Big Show's with a hand that's 20 times as small. I just want to know.
It's the women's right. But I also want you to know that there is 100% chance that when Becky returns, she's gonna face Bianca Belair and beat her. That's 100% happening.
Oh yeah, damn, fuck.
She's definitely coming to SmackDown and definitely getting that belt.
And Bianca could throw her little ass across and over the ring too.
She's a mom now. She's a mom now, so it's different. It's there. She got that mom strength now, and I promise you,
there is mom strength. That is true.
She's disarming the holy hell out of Bianca. And like, I know Becky, I feel like Becky doesn't like this kind of shit, but like, it would be a fire match to have like her and Seth versus Bianca and Montez. Like that, like that's like Mania level shit. But I feel like Becky doesn't like to be paired with Seth a lot. Like it was kind of weird when she did that before with Lacey Evans. But like, she's 100% coming to SmackDown. And especially
they really forced that. Yeah.
The thing for me is like, I know because she's a woman, and I know we're getting to the end of this, but I know because she's a woman, and like just like historically, and then like in the future, like what you don't want to do is put a man in a woman's story, because it's just like you need to let the woman shine on her own or whatever. But Becky and Seth are just so fucking good on the mic, and then like Bianca and Montez, they're also like, just personality wise, you want to see them niggas play Taboo. I would watch those niggas play Taboo. Like that's how much personality wise they're good, and then in the ring it's there too. So it's just like, of course, that, bro, we're talking about 4 wrestlers who I'll watch a match if any of them are in it. 4 of them in the same match, crazy, that'd be nuts.
You get wild spots too, because you would get a spot where like Bianca would like body press Seth, and then like Becky would have like Montez and like some type of like sharpshooters. I'm like I feel like they can all work at such a high rate. You could get some really dope like intergender spots that wouldn't be like the typical cliche, like, oh, let's just like use my finisher on her, like.
And because like Montez is so skinny and shit, you could even do a bit where like Bianca presses him and throws him into like, you know, Seth and shit. Like there's just And
they like to keep couples together too, so she probably will be on SmackDown, like, because they just like to keep couples together.
Yeah, you know what else would be fire that I just thought about? If Asuka were to go to SmackDown for some reason, Shinsuke is still there. You put them together, whether like just as friends, like not a couple, but just as friends, and have them face Seth and Becky, and like, you know, somehow you get the Intercontinental title on Seth. Becky beats Bianca for the women's title, and then you have like a winner take all, like back in the day when they did Santino and Beth Phoenix with the winners take all against D'Lo Brown and I think Kelly. That would be super fire. Now it's a team of people on the mic who aren't that great. Like Shinsuke is cool on the mic. He's better than Asuka, but he's not amazing. But like, it's like Cece said, it's personality. His personality comes through. He's snarky. He has these one-liners that are cool. Like that would just be
facial
really
expressions alone do it. Like just the way he twists his face up is just. You know what I just thought about too? I want to see this. I want to see Asuka and Shinsuke go heel on fucking everybody, and they just help each other win matches.
I was gonna say, like, you have them be the jaded, angry, like, yo, we came into the WWE, we won the Royal Rumbles, we both lost at Mania, and Seth and Becky a year later both won their world titles at Mania. They were pushed in that certain way. Like, we're upset with management, we're upset with our usage rates, we're upset with, you know, not being in the title picture or timing not being on our side. Let's just destroy the entire WWE. Let's squash every man and woman, and let's show them what we're really about as these indie New Japan superstars that we are, who haven't been able to fully Asuka shine. Shinsuke hasn't really shined. And again, like I say, it's crazy. He's one title away from being a Grand Slam champion, and people probably forget that. Like people really forget that because
he got everything, bro.
Yeah. So
and you know it's crazy too. I just thought about like that might be a whole movement that you just set up or whatever. Because when Becky turned into the man, she was initially supposed to be disliked. It was supposed to be disliked. It's just that the fans wanted her to win so bad. They was fucking with her like they was fucking with like Stone Cold and shit. Like that's the fans, at least speaking for myself, had the same feeling as Shinsuke and Asuka. If Shinsuke and Asuka are heels, I'm still rooting for them. I don't give a fuck. Absolutely. I'm sorry. Like that's just how it's gonna go.
That's facts. But ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for tuning in. First episode back for the Rewriters, the Men with the Pen. We got a great season for y'all. We got guests coming. Again, enjoy the new theme song. And we got some heat loading for y'all. So make sure you tune into the A Show every Wednesday, the War Report every Friday, all of the RNC radio content. We got spot callers. We got the G Show. Follow RNC Cooks. Check out The Lookout. Check out Black Variant, Recut Gems, RSPN. We got so much content for y'all. We back. Happy Women's History Month to all the women. Salute to all the women wrestlers doing their things. We are Team Bianca leading into WrestleMania. And Sasha, you better improve the mic skills because Bianca's bringing the bars to you.
Oh,
On that
It's like
note,
when you see an old rapper trying to rap with a new rapper. It's like,
nah, it's not.
This ain't 06, baby. This ain't 06.
It's not your time. That said, we will see y'all in 2 weeks.